They smiled in your face, but plotted behind your back. Now they're the ones feeling played, divine ones. Have you ever felt like the people who tried to break you are now watching you shine, with regret all over their faces? Once upon a not-so-distant past, there was a chosen one who walked through storms with no umbrella, carrying grace like armor. They were laughed at, mocked, underestimated, even betrayed by their own tribe. But the chosen didn't flinch. Fast forward to today, and those same people are peeping from the sidelines with wide eyes and tight throats, wondering how you're still standing, glowing even. You see, when God ordains you, no man, no scheme, no trap can derail your destiny. Now they feel played. And you? You're walking with purpose. Divines, this is your season of divine reversal. The joke is no longer on you, it's on them. So why do they feel played now? What did you do, or better yet not do, that left them stunned and spiraling? Let's talk about it, because this video will open your eyes to the power you never knew you were wielding. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. Stick around till the end, Divines, because what we're about to uncover will not only affirm who you are, it'll help you stay woke and anchored on your spiritual journey. Let's dive deep. Point 1. You didn't clap back, you leveled up. Let's keep it real, divine ones. Your glow up didn't come from clapping back or playing the revenge game. It came from choosing elevation over retaliation. People expected fireworks when they threw their shade, but you gave them stillness. They wanted a reaction, but you gave them a revelation. Your silence? It wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. While they were busy being loud with their gossip and small with their intentions, you were moving in silence, sharpening your gifts and aligning with something way bigger than the drama, divine purpose. See, here's what they didn't realize. While they were out there building drama, you were building discipline. While they were poking at you, hoping to trigger a storm, you were praying for peace, planting seeds of greatness, and keeping your circle clean. Your refusal to play dirty made you dangerous in the best way. Why? Because you mastered emotional intelligence, which, according to psychology, is one of the highest indicators of long-term success and leadership. You knew that matching chaos only keeps you stuck in the mud, so instead you kept your energy high and your boundaries firm. Now let's talk about the level up they never saw coming. It wasn't loud, it wasn't messy. It was graceful, grounded, and God-backed, and it hit them where it hurts. The ego, that promotion, that peace, that personal transformation, oh yeah, they noticed. And they're watching from the sidelines, jaw dropped, realizing you never needed to clap back because your elevation was the clap back. Your success became the sermon. Your breakthrough became the billboard. And you stayed unbothered, unfazed, and undeniably blessed. Here's the spiritual tea. The higher you go, the fewer people can go with you. It gets quieter because your frequency has shifted. People who feed off chaos simply can't breathe in the altitude of peace and purpose. They don't understand stillness because stillness exposes their own noise. So keep rising, Divine One. Let them sit in the confusion of your calm and the echo of your silence. Your journey isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were never built to break. Stay in your lane, stay in alignment, and watch the same folks who doubted you turn into silent spectators of your divine glow. Point 2, your presence now intimidates the ones who once mocked you. Let's talk energy, Divines, because yours, it's always been different, unique, magnetic. That unexplainable force that makes people lean in a little closer, even when they don't understand why. From childhood to now, your presence has had power. Not the loud, look at me kind of power, but the kind that makes the room shift when you enter. And let's be honest, that energy both attracted and unsettled folks. They were drawn to your light like moths to a flame, yet some still tried to smother it. Not because you did anything wrong, but because dimming you made them feel more comfortable in their own shadows. But now, that naive, confused version of you they thought would never evolve, she's gone. That soft-spoken spirit who doubted her worth, healed. The God in you whispered, rise, and baby, you didn't just rise, you ascended. You upgraded in silence, and now your glow hits different. It's not just confidence, it's calling. It's not ego, it's elevation. Here's the kicker, you don't even have to say a word anymore. When you walk into a room, your spirit introduces you. Your frequency speaks before your mouth does. You're aligned, and that alignment? It rattles demons. It rattles the ones who played with you, underestimated you, maybe even betrayed you. Why? because they didn't think you'd become this version of yourself. They thought you'd stay stuck. But look at God, humor break. It's giving. You should have treated me better when you had access, boo. And they know it. They feel the shift. You went from overlooked to undeniable, and the most satisfying part, you didn't have to clap back. Your evolution was the clap back. Now here's your spiritual reminder. When you carry divine favor, you don't just shine, you shake things up. You become a walking disruption to demonic agendas. Your presence alone dismantles lies, exposes hidden motives, and forces people to confront their own darkness. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything, because favor does what fists and fury never could. It elevates you while humbling them. So stay bright, divines. Stay grounded. Stay anointed. Because your glow-up wasn't just for you. It was a divine announcement. I survived. I grew. And now I own my light. Point 3. You healed instead of seeking revenge. Divines, healing, that's your real flex. Not the kind of glow-up the world posts on social media, but the sacred, soul-deep kind, the kind that turns scars into strength and wounds into wisdom. You didn't just bounce back, you rose up with grace, guided by divine hands, and let's be clear, you didn't waste your precious energy plotting revenge, dragging anyone's name through the mud, or proving your worth to those who couldn't see it. No, you let God handle it. And oh, he handled it. The ones who tried to break you, they expected chaos. They were banking on your collapse. But God had a different plan. When they cast shadows on your path, heaven lit a lamp at your feet. When they pulled away, you pulled closer to God. That heartbreak you thought would destroy you, it didn't. It built a warrior, resilient, discerning, and deeply connected to their purpose. That betrayal that made you question everyone, it sharpened your discernment, giving you X-ray vision into people's intentions. And the silence, it wasn't empty. It became sacred space, where God whispered truth into your spirit. Now here's the twist they never saw coming. Your healing is the very thing that exposed their weakness. Because while they were playing games, you were leveling up. While they were gossiping, you were growing. While they were hoping you'd fold, you were forming an unshakable bond with the divine. And now they feel played, not because you retaliated, but because you didn't. You became the storm they thought they'd unleashed, calm, powerful, and untouchable. And here's a truth bomb for the ages. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Genesis 50:20. That ancient wisdom hits differently when you've lived it. What was supposed to harm you ended up promoting you. What was meant to break you only made you bolder. You didn't just heal, you evolved. So hold your head high, divine. Your healing isn't just your testimony, it's your weapon. It's the evidence that God is still in the business of turning pain into purpose. And while they sit with their regret, you keep soaring. Because when heaven chooses you, no weapon, no word, no wound can prosper. Point 4. Your success exposed their true intentions. Listen closely, because this right here is the realest lesson life will teach you. Success doesn't change you, it reveals them. You didn't switch up, you just elevated. But it's funny how the moment you started glowing, certain folks started acting shady. You'd think that your wins would bring out applause, but instead they brought out silence. The same people who used to cheer when you were at your lowest now can't seem to clap when you're climbing. And why is that? Because your light exposes their darkness, your progress reminds them of everything they're not doing. See, when you were still in the mud, they felt comfortable. Your struggle was their comfort zone. But the moment you began walking in your purpose, doors flying open, blessings falling like rain, that's when the masks started slipping. Suddenly they were too busy to text back. They forgot to congratulate you. They ghosted your wins like your success was a personal attack, but it's not about you. It's about the mirror your rise holds up to their own stagnation. Jealousy doesn't whisper, it shouts. Bitterness doesn't hide, it bubbles up. And guilt, oh, it's the loudest of all. It eats them alive because deep down they never wanted you to win. Not really, they liked you better when you needed them, when you were the underdog, because then they could feel superior. But now you're making moves they can't even pronounce, stepping into rooms they've never even seen, and that threatens them. Here's the divine part. God isn't blessing you in private. Nope. He's preparing a table for you in front of every single person who doubted, dismissed, or betrayed you, not for revenge, but for revelation. Psalm 23:5 says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That's not petty, that's purposeful. Because God wants your elevation to be a testimony, a beacon of what grace, grit, and favor look like. So don't get bitter, get better. Don't clap back, climb higher. Let them sit with their regret while you rise with your anointing, because at the end of the day, your glow up was never about proving them wrong. It was always about proving God right. Point 5, they lost access to your grace. Divines, let's be clear. Your grace is sacred currency, and not everyone is worthy of that kind of wealth. The peace you bring, the light you carry, the prayers you whisper behind closed doors, they're not just acts of kindness, they are extensions of your divine assignment. And when you finally draw the line, when you stop pouring into cups that only leak, oh, they feel it. Not in their hearts, because let's be honest, most of them weren't connected to yours. They feel it in their comfort zones, in their convenience, because it was never about you. It was always about the energy, the clarity, and the spiritual covering you provided that made their chaos more bearable. Scientific studies have shown that people often gravitate toward emotionally intelligent individuals because of the balance and safety they radiate. That's you. You're the emotional regulator in people's storms. But here's the twist. Emotional vampires exist, and psychology even identifies them as individuals with narcissistic or codependent tendencies who drain others to fill their own voids. And when you cut the cord, they panic. Not because they're heartbroken, but because the well has dried up. You see, Divine One, people get addicted to your light, but forget it's powered by a source they never honored, God. They took your prayers like coupons, your encouragement like fuel, and your compassion like free therapy. But you weren't put here to be their endless supply. You were sent to serve with discernment. When you said no when you chose you for once, that wasn't just a boundary, it was a spiritual power move. That no rewrote the script. They thought they were the main character. Turns out they were just part of your character development. And let's talk about divine reciprocity. God doesn't just watch. He orchestrates. The same ones who tried to manipulate, drain, or downplay you, they're now being taught through your absence. You didn't have to fight, expose, or retaliate. You just had to leave. And now they sit in the silence where your prayers once echoed, where your wisdom once flowed. That's divine justice. So no, you're not cold. You're chosen. And chosen ones don't bleed out for people who wouldn't offer a bandage. Let them miss you. Let them reflect while you rise healed, guarded, and glowing with God's armor. Point 6, they realized too late you were the blessing. Divines, let's talk about the beauty of revelation, the kind that doesn't come from shouting your worth, but from quietly becoming everything they thought you could never be. How many times were you the afterthought in rooms you lit up? How often did they ignore your presence, dismiss your voice, or sideline your efforts, only to circle back when the silence of your absence rang louder than your presence ever did? Some people don't recognize a blessing until it walks away and doesn't look back. That's when they feel the drought, the spiritual, emotional, and energetic vacuum you leave behind. Suddenly, the replaceable one they overlooked becomes the one they can't forget. There's something poetic about the tables turning without you having to lift a finger. Your elevation wasn't revenge, it was revelation. You grew, you glowed up, and in doing so, you became the mirror reflecting their short-sightedness. See, when you're constantly undervalued, your glow doesn't dim, it just blinds those who aren't ready to see it. And now, they're squinting through their regret, replaying every moment they underestimated you, realizing you were the real deal the whole time. But here's the spiritual gem. God has a way of hiding his most divine treasures in plain sight. It's not for everyone to recognize your value. Only the pure-hearted, the ones aligned with truth and light, can truly see who you are. It's divine protection, not rejection. It's not that you weren't enough. It's that they weren't equipped to receive you. Your spirit, your essence, your gift, those are sacred. And not everyone deserves front-row seats to your unfolding. So no, don't shrink yourself for people who needed to lose you just to learn your worth. Don't feel guilty for evolving past their projections. Growth is uncomfortable, especially for those who expected you to stay small. Your journey is a sacred unveiling, and every step forward reveals just how unmatched you truly are. Let them sit with their hindsight while you walk in foresight. Because baby, you're one of one. Never forget that. Point 7, God reversed the roles and they're watching from the bleachers. This one's for every divine watching this. You are living proof of divine reversal. a walking testimony that the universe, when aligned with God's will, can flip the script in your favor. The last became first, the rejected became refined, and the underestimated became absolutely unstoppable. You didn't just survive what was meant to break you, you alchemized it into power. What people saw as your downfall was actually divine setup. Those painful nights, silent tears, and seasons of invisibility, they were incubators for greatness. Let's be real. There were moments when you were the joke, the rumor, the one folks conveniently forgot to invite. People misjudged your quietness for weakness, your patience for passivity. They laughed, they dismissed, they tried to erase your worth with whispers. But oh, how the tables have turned. Because when God promotes, He doesn't do it in secret. He prepares a table in the presence of your enemies, not behind their backs. Your elevation becomes a public announcement that divine favor doesn't require approval. Now those same critics, they're scrolling your page, watching your growth, trying to figure out how you did it. And here's the sprinkle of humor. They're watching like, wait, wasn't that the same one Yes, it was. And God did that. You went from overlooked to undeniable. And not because you fought back with pettiness or played their game, but because you stayed aligned, consistent and true. You let the divine timing of the universe do what it does best, expose and exalt. There's a spiritual law in effect here. Psalm 118:22 says, "The stone the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. What was once tossed aside is now the foundation." You are that cornerstone, the very structure that others are leaning on, learning from, and looking to for leadership. Not out of pity, but out of pure divine design. So no, don't get bitter. Don't waste energy proving yourself. Let your results do the talking. Let your peace be your proof. And as they sit with their regret, you rise with grace, with joy, and with the quiet power of someone who knows their worth isn't determined by applause, but by purpose. Divine reversal isn't just a concept, it's your current reality. Divines, let this video serve as a holy reminder. You're not just surviving, you're chosen. Your journey may have started in the shadows, but your destination is drenched in divine light. They feel played, not because you fooled them, but because they fooled themselves into thinking you were average. But you've been extraordinary all along. Let them talk, let them watch. You keep walking. And remember, the best clapback is elevation. Stay grounded, stay God-filled, stay chosen. Because of your story, it's still being written. And the next chapter, divine. Divines, if this message touched your spirit, make sure to drop a comment, like, and share this with another chosen one who needs to hear this. Stay awake, stay aware, and stay anchored in your journey, because the world needs your light now more than ever. You are chosen, you are covered, you are walking proof of God's glory. Until next time, keep shining, keep rising, and remember, they feel played, but you're just getting started. Peace and power.